Now, from the area's leader in live local news, this is WYLN News, the area's #1 source of live local news and information in Luzerne, Schuylkill, Carbon, and Columbia counties. WYLN News starts now.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us on WYLN News. I'm Ryan Prosick. A man from Scranton is behind bars after police say he poured lighter fluid on his roommate and attempted to set him on fire. Robert McKnight was arrested after Scranton police say they spoke with the victim at the regional hospital around 4 a.m. on Friday morning. Police say the victim told officers that McKnight had been drinking when he began arguing with the woman. The victim said he stepped in to help the woman take her items and leave, which started an argument with McKnight, who was his roommate. According to the affidavit, when the victim attempted to go to his room, McKnight began threatening him. Court documents say McKnight then entered the victim's room, poured a bottle of lighter fluid on the victim, and attempted to light him on fire. According to investigators, the lighter only sparked and did not ignite. McKnight has been charged with aggravated assault, terroristic threats, possession of incendiary materials, and other related charges. He is currently behind bars of Lackawanna County Prison on $100,000 bail. Crews responded to a 4-home fire in Minersville Thursday morning. First responders were dispatched to the scene on the 300 block of Pleasant Street around 4:30 a.m. Multiple crews from the surrounding areas assisted with the fire, which was under control by 6:30 a.m. on Thursday. 8 people were displaced by the fire and are currently receiving help from the Red Cross. The cause of the fire is still under investigation by the state police fire marshals. A young girl has been reported missing in Luzerne County. The juvenile pictured on screen was reported missing by the Edwardsville Police Department. The age of the girl and her name have not been released by police. If you have any information on the juvenile's whereabouts, you were asked to contact the Edwardsville Police Department at 570-288-6484. Penn State Hazelton hosted their annual Mylar Geary Lecture on Wednesday and welcomed guest speaker Asif Udola, who serves as an associate professor of physics at Penn State Scranton. During the presentation, Udola presented his lecture titled Surprisingly Strong Winds of Magnetic Massive Stars and spoke about stellar winds driven by radiation on massive stars in the universe. We caught up with Udola after the presentation, and he told us more about his lecture.
Our sun is a very relatively small star, and out there in the universe we have stars that are much more massive, and they're like a million times as bright as the sun. And those objects actually emit a lot of those are the objects that are responsible for making elements that we are made of. But those are the stars that also actually emit a lot of material of their surface. And what I was presenting today is that how that material gets lifted off from the surface and basically disperses into the space, and then eventually goes into recycling process to make us.
We also asked Udola what inspired him to pursue research on this topic.
As you know, we are in the age of the smartphones. All we do is just look at the phone and never look up to the sky. But the sky is the biggest thing that we have, and I've since I was a little tiny boy, I've always wondered, look at this, star, and it's how far are they? It would really make me dizzy by just thinking about it. So I never actually lost my passion for that, So I kind of I was focused very, very, quite single-handedly into this. Okay, I'm going to go and study astronomy and nothing else, So yes, it has always been there for me, passion.
Udola said the discovery is just a small step in the progression of science.
Well, this is just a small brick in a big, big wall of the science. I can't say this is a Nobel Prize-winning research or anything like this, but it does add, because we're doing basic science. Okay, basic science cannot evolve, unless you make progress and you make one. For example, one of the things I tell my students is that look at my watch. This every single thing that went into making this watch existed 2,000 years ago. Why is that they didn't make this one? We did, and the difference, as you find out, is knowledge. You see, so the difference between this watch now and then is knowledge.
If you'd like to learn more about this topic, you can contact Professor Udola at Penn State Scranton. The presentation was held at Penn State Hazelton's Costos building at 12:20 p.m. on Wednesday. A man is facing charges after investigators say he was caught cheating at Mohegan, Pennsylvania. Jianshu Liu has been charged after employees told police they saw Liu acting suspiciously at a baccarat table. Police say officers were called to Mohegan, Pennsylvania at approximately 4:30 a.m. on Monday. Upon reviewing security footage, investigators saw Liu moving what looked like a phone underneath the scorecards and moving the dealer's hands after the deck was shuffled. Investigators also discovered that Liu had been reported for cheating at baccarat at 2 other casinos in Missouri. Liu has been charged with 2 counts of knowingly committing tricks, fraud, or manipulation to win or reduce a loss. A man from Ashland is behind bars following an incident on Sunday. Brian Macy is in custody after police say he became hostile towards his mother. According to police, Macy shoved his mother against the stove and threatened to decapitate her. Macy's mother then called 911, but Macy had already fled the scene by the time officers arrived. Macy turned himself in to officers on Monday morning and has been charged with harassment and making terroristic threats. He's currently behind bars at the School County Prison on $10,000 straight cash bail. Coming up on Wyln News, Jennifer Pecora is confirmed as the Luzerne County Operational Services Division Head. Plus, the United States Attorney's Office promotes the United Against Hate initiative at Wilkes-Barre Area High School. But first, we'll take a look at our 5-day forecast brought to you by the Wyln Weather Kids. We'll be right back.
Weather Kids is brought to you by Lehigh Valley Hospital, Hazleton. Your health deserves a partner.
We want your child to be our WYLN Weather Kid. Your child can be our feature weather reporter of the day on WYLN News and WYLN social media posts, just by using your smartphone or any video recording device. It's easy. All ages are welcome, from toddlers to teens. To find out how, go to the weather section of WYLNTV.com or look for our post about it on the WYLN News Facebook page. Submit your Weather Kid video today.
Hey, it's Justin from Grand Central, and our trained sleep professionals are here to help you sleep like never before. With an extensive line of Sealy and Stearns & Foster mattresses, we are sure to find you the right mattress at the right price. Free delivery and removal, interest-free financing for up to 60 months, and same or next day delivery on select models.
And don't forget, everyday low prices.
Stop in to one of our 2 locations,
Route 93 in Escapec,
Or downtown Hazleton.
and see why Northeast and Central Pennsylvania sleeps better with Grand Central.
There's no better place to shoot than Whitetail Preserve. Their skeet, trap, and sporting clay fields are professionally designed, and all stations are handicap accessible. Whitetail Preserve has resident shooting instructors certified by the NRA in shotgun, rifle, pistol, home safety, and personal protection in the home. Whitetail can also cater any size event, whether it be a private party, corporate event, or wedding. Call 570-384-2314 for more information. Hey, did you know WYLN posts news stories and other bonus content on social media all week long? The Weather Kids, Fresh from the Farm, Everyday Heroes, Let's Talk Sports, Feel Good Friday, daily news stories, and more. Visit WYLNTV.com, Facebook, and YouTube to check it out. WYLN, the local leader on social media. We're your local network.
Welcome back to Wyln News. Jennifer Pecora was officially confirmed as Luzerne County Operational Services Division Head on Tuesday. The decision was made by the Luzerne County Council with a unanimous vote during their public meeting that evening. Pecora's salary is set at $98,800. As the Division Head of Operational Services, Pecora will oversee the engineering, roads and bridges, planning and zoning, 911 and emergency management, building and grounds, boiler plant and solid waste management departments. Pecora has been serving as the interim head since December when Luzerne County Manager Imelda Crocomo nominated her for the position. Prior to her appointment as the interim division head, Pecora served as the head of administrative services, a position that is currently vacant. The Rally for Gabby is right around the corner. This Sunday, March 3rd from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m., Valley Regional Fire and Rescue is hosting a benefit event for Gabby Williams at the Banquet Hall on 14 West Butler Drive in Drums. Tickets for the spaghetti and meatball dinner cost $10 for children, $15 for adults, and $20 on the day of the event. The dinner will include spaghetti, meatballs, salad, bread, dessert, and a beverage. Tricky trays and a 50-50 drawing will also be available. You do not need to purchase a spaghetti dinner to purchase chances for the tricky trays or 50-50 drawing. If you are interested in tickets to the dinner, you could call Valley Regional Fire and Rescue at 570-788-1886. The United States Attorney's Office held an event at Wilkes-Barre Area High School on Tuesday to promote the Department of Justice's United Against Hate initiative. During the event, federal, state, and local law enforcement officials spoke with students about the differences between hate crimes and hate incidents, and how to distinguish between unlawful conduct and protected First Amendment activity. In a press release, United States Attorney Gerard Karam said he remains committed to bringing communities together and encouraging the reporting of hate crimes and hate incidents. Coming up on West Hazelton's News Choice, we preview some more NFL free agency on Let's Talk Sports. Plus, Chris Fulmer leads us down the path of history with Lee Heighton, Part 4. So stay right here because we'll be right back on WYLN TV.
And you will love the feel-good feeling you get when you shop at Grand Central in Nescopeck and Hazelton. You will enjoy a no-pressure professional sales staff, experienced delivery crew, service after the sale.
And don't forget, everyday low prices.
No matter what you're shopping for in your home, we have you covered with top brand names like Flex Steel, Lazy Boy England, and Dillon Custom Rugs.
With our enormous selection and the flexibility to finance interest-free for up to 60 months, Grand Central makes it easy to make your house a home.
Your guide to everything Pocono Mountains is PTN, the Pocono Television Network. Watch PTN on WYLN.
The Castle Auditorium Community Arts Center will be presenting the United States Air Force Heritage of America Rhythm in Blue Band at the Hazelton Area High School, Friday, March 15th. Doors open at 7, concert starts at 7:30. This event is sponsored by the Pasco L. Shivo Memorial Fund of the Luzerne Foundation and the Hazelton Elks Lodge Number 200. This concert is free, open to the public. Tickets can be picked up at Boscov's and Laurel Ball in Hazelton, and tickets will be available at eventbrite.com, and a limited number of tickets will also be available at the door.
WYLN TV 35 is expanding and is on the hunt for a dynamic salesperson to join our vibrant team. If you've got the passion and the drive, we want to hear from you. Send your resume to the email displayed on your screen. Don't miss this great opportunity.
Hello, I'm WYLN historian Chris Fulmer. Pennsylvania's communities are filled with interesting history. Come with me as we discover the people, events, industries, and other historic facets of local towns.
PPW Nation, get ready for the best of PPW Season 2. Join Paul Bowe, E. Julius Kuiper, Alexander Bravado, Tom Mitchell, and Alex Watt as we take you down memory lane and relive some of the best PPW matches of all time. Saturdays at 5 p.m., Sundays at 10 p.m., only on WYLN.
Hi everybody, this week on Let's Talk Chiropractic, my old mentor Cy Fulton's going to join me to talk about, can this laser help his right shoulder? He thinks he could make 10 out of 10 foul shots. Let's see if he could.
Back to a Thursday edition of Let's Talk Sports. I know we've talked a lot of football recently here because it's always football season, I promise. Once baseball starts and once basketball gets into playoff season, we will transition away from football except for the draft and, like I said, free agency. But we have a lot going on in the football world. The NFL Combine testing started today. It'll wrap up by Monday, so I'll recap you then if anything crazy happens, or if one of the D linemen or edge rushers do something insane, I will recap you tomorrow on Let's Talk Sports. But we're going to get into the tight end and offensive tackle rankings for free agency. We're going to talk tight end first. I feel like these two work well together because guard is very upper quality position this year. If you need a good guard in free agency, it's going to cost you a good bit, but there's some quality options looming in free agency. So we're going to talk about tight end first. We're going to talk about Dalton Schultz, who was with the Houston Texans. First off, I think he goes back. CJ Stroud is really cheap on a rookie deal. There's rumors they're going to sign Saquon. Saquon's been really interested to go to Houston. That'd be an awesome fit, especially with, the cap situation that they have. But Dalton Schultz was C.J. Stroud's security blanket in his Rookie of the Year campaign. 59 catches, 635 yards, and 5 touchdowns. I think he signs a nice little 2, maybe 3-year deal. Play out the rest of C.J. Stroud's rookie contract outside of the 5th-year option. But he's going to remain a quality safety blanket for quite some time for C.J. Stroud. He's not going to be the number 1 or even number 2 or even number 3 priority in the offense if Saquon Barkley signs there, but he'll still be a quality option for C.J. Stroud to check down to and, limit those turnovers for the 2nd-year pro. We also have Hunter Henry, who is coming from the Chargers, and I think he should go back to the Chargers. That's just my opinion. He signed a big money deal with the Patriots as they tried to reinvigorate the tight end position there. A couple of big money free agents, couple high draft picks, not too high. I'd say like day 2, day 3, early day 3, late day 2 kind of draft picks, which typically usually produce starter material, but they just didn't for the Patriots. So they swung several times. They struck out. They went back up to the plate again, and they took another swing at it and missed. So Hunter Henry did have his best season for the Patriots with 42 receptions, 419 yards, and 6 touchdowns. But still, I think New England's trying to get younger. Obviously, they could want him back for a safety blanket for a rookie quarterback, whether that be Drake May, Jaden Daniels. We'll see on that one getting closer to draft time, but I think he should go back to the Chargers and go play with Herbert. They haven't had a tight end in forever. They've had a nice little revolving door, and it just hasn't really worked out for Los Angeles Chargers. But if he stays in New England, I wouldn't be surprised either. He's a quality option at the tight end position. And next up, we have Noah Fant, who was a part of the Russell Wilson trade, one of the worst trades in the past 5 to 10 years in the NFL. Obviously, Denver got the worst off end of that. But no, Noah Fant is only 26 years old, and he's hyper athletic. And when you want to bet on one of these young tight ends, I know he's 26, which is very young, but NFL age, you know what I'm talking about. We also have Drew Lock, who came back in that trade as well as a bunch of picks, and they made those picks count. So anyway, back to Noah Fant. He hasn't really produced, but you want to bet on athleticism, and you could sign him to a 3-year, 4-year deal, and he won't even be 30 by the time the deal is up and he hits free agency again. So I think he has time to prove himself. He's split playing time in Seattle with a bunch of different tight ends, the revolving door there. I just don't think Pete Carroll used him right, so we'll see about that one. And we also have Gerald Everett, who is the Chargers' current tight end, or was the current tight end. I think his playing days, they're not over yet, but they've been on a decline. He's been a great tight end for what it's worth, for what he was picked in the draft. He's produced consistently. I think he has another contract in him, but he's getting up there a little bit in age, or at least so it seems. He's been in the NFL as long as I can remember, from the Rams to the revolving door of the Seahawks to now the Chargers. But he's still a quality option at 51 catches, 411 yards, and 3 touchdowns for the AFC West team in the Chargers. So I think he'll sign a 1 or 2 year deal somewhere else as a quality tight end too that could step up as a 1 if needed. We also have the offensive tackle. We have Tyron Smith, who will probably be a Cowboy forever at this rate. I mean, he's been there since I've become a consistent fan of the league. He's just been a staple at left tackle out of USC. They spent a top 5 pick on him, and boy, was it worth it. So he'll probably sign a 1-year deal to play back in Dallas, unless he wants to go ring chasing somewhere in Kansas City or, anywhere else, Buffalo maybe. I don't know. We'll see about that one, but they'd have to release some players to make that happen. So we also have Trent Brown, who I think will probably get the bag. He went from New England to Las Vegas, back to New England, and he reinvigorated his career. It just seems like he's one of those players that plays better with the Patriots. There's been a couple instances of that over the past few years, so I think he is on that list as well. We also have fellow Patriot Mike Onwenu, and he plays guard, but he can play tackle as well, so I kind of threw him in here. He can play both. He's very versatile. I think he is the priority for the Patriots. And we also have Mekhi Becton, who has shown flashes of being a elite tackle in this league for the Jets, but he just hasn't been able to stay healthy, and there's been multiple off-field concerns. Some team's going to take a chance on him, though, because some team always will. He has the draft pedigree. It's there on tape when you watch certain clips, although the injuries are just such a big concern that you don't know what's going to end up. It's a mystery bag, but there's always going to be someone in the league that takes that chance. And then we finish off with Jonah Williams, who was a high round 1 pick, just hasn't been able to find his footing with the Bengals. I think he leaves this offseason. Who's going to get a decent contract, because if you're a starting caliber tackle in this league, you will get paid, and that is that. But that does it for this edition of Let's Talk Sports. We'll see you right back here tomorrow for a Friday edition. Have a good one.
Your guide to everything Pocono Mountains is PTN, the Pocono Television Network. Watch PTN on WYLN.
When you see news happening in your neighborhood, call WYLN News at 570-459-1869 or email us at news@WYLNTV.com or send us a message on social media through Facebook. WYLN, we're your local network.
When you need surgery, excellence and experience matter. So does staying close to home. At Lehigh Valley Hospital Hazleton, you get it all. As part of Lehigh Valley Health Network's Institute for Surgical Excellence, we have the most experienced surgeons and advanced technology, including robotic-assisted surgery. For you, this means getting back to normal life. Whether it's general or orthopedic surgery, you have a local surgery partner you can trust, a partner committed to excellence. Lehigh Valley Hospital Hazleton, your health deserves a partner.
WYLN programming is online all the time. Visit our website at WYLNTV.com to check out archive shows and a live stream of our broadcasts. And don't forget to visit all of our social media pages for breaking news, weather, and sports. You can also head directly to our YouTube page for all our programming at youtube.com/WYLNTV35. Subscribe and ring that bell so you get notified every time there's a new show available online. There's no better place to shoot than Whitetail Preserve. Their skeet, trap, and sporting clay fields are professionally designed, and all stations are handicap accessible. Whitetail Preserve has resident shooting instructors certified by the NRA in shotgun, rifle, pistol, home safety, and personal protection in the home. Whitetail can also cater any size event, whether it be a private party, corporate event, or wedding. Call 570-384-2314 for more information. Do you like craft beer? Do you want to learn the right way to sample wine? How about checking out a restaurant with a unique flavor or a crazy food challenge? These are just some of the things we are featuring on Wine, Hops, and Road Stops. So, spend some time learning about great wine, great beer, and great food on WYLN TV 35.
With the outbreak of World War II, many of Lee Heighton's sons volunteered for service against the forces of fascism. One of these volunteers was Clarence Smoyer. Originally born in Perryville in 1923, Smoyer would join the 32nd Regiment of the 3rd Armored Division, where he served as a gunner on the M26 Pershing tank, dubbed the Eagle 7 by its crew. The team would have its moment on March 6, 1945, when it entered the city of Cologne, which had earned the reputation of being Hitler's fortress city during the Allies' final push into Germany. "Gentlemen, I give you Cologne. Let's knock the hell out of it," the unit's commander declared before the battle. And with memories of the comrades that had been killed in combat across Europe on their minds after they entered Germany, Smoyer and his brothers in arms were prepared to do just that. Once inside the city, the Eagle 7 would meet up with a dreaded German Panther tank in front of the Cologne Cathedral. Known as the Monster, the Panther had guns powerful enough to send a shell through multiple opposing tanks. This one had harassed any American troops it saw, but Smoyer's crew decided to take it on. They drove close enough to the Panther to be muzzle to muzzle with it, and in a 45-second encounter that was memorably caught on film, Smoyer fired 3 shots into the Panther that left it in flames. He would gain the title Hero of Cologne for his actions in destroying the powerful enemy tank. Before the encounter with the Panther, however, he had also fired at what he thought was a German army staff car driving through the battle zone into his tank's path. In the heat of combat, he thought he might have hit a woman in the car fatally, but dismissed it, if so, as likely a secretary or mistress of a German general. Decades later, after a civilian career that included a 40-year tenure with Wyln in Bethlehem, Smoyer finally got around to watching the footage of the Battle of the Cathedral. What he saw horrified him to the core. It had been a woman in the car, subsequently identified as Katharina Esser, and she was in fact merely a civilian that had been trying to flee the battle in the city. His possible culpability in her death would continue to haunt Smoyer for several decades afterwards. In 2013, Smoyer, hoping to find some peace of mind, reached out to Gustav Schaefer, who had been a gunner in another Panther tank in Cologne during the battle. The two were able to bury the wounds of war in the encounter, with Schaefer admitting he too had fired into Esser's car when he had also seen it. The two would remain friends afterwards. A few years after that, Clarence Smoyer would become the subject of the best-selling book Spearhead. In his last years, he would receive the Bronze Star for his wartime service. He died in 2022 at age 99. Lehighton's veterans would see the drive-in wave that was sweeping the nation in the late 40s reach their area after they returned from the war. The Mahoning Drive-In was built in 1948 and opened in 1949, featuring a 120-foot screen. While many drive-ins have come and gone over the intervening decades, the Mahoning has proved itself to be a survivor. And to those who visit it, a trip back to the past, one of the few surviving drive-ins to play movies off its original projectors on 35mm film. By the 1950s, Lehighton would also get a taste of the future of the automobile when the Mahoning Valley Interchange of the Pennsylvania Turnpike's northeast extension opened to traffic in 1957, allowing Lehighton residents quick access to the Philadelphia to the south and Scranton to the north. As the decades progressed, rock and roll took off, and a local boy got a chance to play with one of the all-time greats. Denny Sywell had been born in Lehighton in 1943 and started playing the drums at age 5. He joined the Navy after graduating high school and performed in the Navy Jazz Band. After service, he went to Chicago, where he was tutored by ace drummer Roy Knapp. From there, it was on to New York City for Sywell and a job at the Half Note Jazz Club. It was there in New York where he would draw the attention of Paul McCartney, who was looking for musicians for a new band following the end of the Beatles. Liking what he heard, McCartney recruited Sywell as the drummer for his album Ram, and then afterwards invited him to be a charter member in Wings. Sywell will be the band's drummer for its first 2 albums, Wildlife and Red Rose Speedway, as well as in the group's theme song to the James Bond film Live and Let Die. He would leave Wings in August 1973 due to pay disputes, although he remained in good terms with McCartney. Sywell would go on to drum for many other major stars in the year that follows, including Art Garfunkel, Donovan, James Brown, and Billy Joel. The 70s would see the rise of a shift in retail, with businesses moving out of downtowns into malls and shopping centers. The Lehighton area would experience this shift as well, with the opening of the Carbon Plaza Mall on Route 443 just west of town in 1972. Its original anchors were a Lane Co. food store and a W.T. Grant department store. After the Grant's chain declared bankruptcy in 1976, J.C. Bright's department store moved its downtown Lehighton location into the former Grant space, merging it with the chain's flagship Lansford store. Bright's would close in 1995, ending over a century of service to Carbon County. Its space in the mall is currently operated by a Big Lot store and the Mahoning Valley Cinema. Other businesses have come and gone in the mall over the years as time has marched on, but it remains as a bastion of commerce for the Lehighton area and beyond.
And that does it for the news. Remember, the source matters now more than ever. Catch all the latest news and updates on our YouTube, Facebook, or at our website at wylntv.com. Stay with us for a look at the weather.
You're watching